I was supposed to do both. So guys, welcome to the Crayon Rocket podcast. Had to redo it because I kind of messed up on a part and didn't want to redo it on the live. So I kind of messed up a little bit. But if you don't know the Crayon Rocket podcast or the YouTube channel, we have another part of the podcast where I find more trendy topics to talk about, and I kind of give my personal opinion on those and kind of add some humor and just kind of like make it interesting and entertaining, right? So then we have the reactions to the music videos. We do that as well, where you could only find it on the YouTube channel, right? And then you have the one that you are watching right now. This one is more for local Albuquerque or local New Mexico news, and we just I kind of voice my opinion on some of it. You might like it, you might not. You might just think I'm lame, or you just might disagree with me completely, and that's totally fine. I'm not doing this for anyone. I do this for myself because it's a hobby. If it takes off and becomes something, then awesome. But if it don't, that's totally fine with me as well, right? So you'll kind of get the gist of everything and how this episode of this podcast works and stuff like that. So what usually happens, right, is I already have everything picked out. I have the topics. I'll play the video. Hopefully the video plays on the live. I'm hoping that it does. If not, I do apologize. Then I give my social commentary on it, right? So with that being said, we are going to be looking at unused, let them pay court fees going to the school athletic program. So we're going to kind of see what they have to say about that, and then I'll give my opinion on it. So let's go ahead and jump into that.
With high school sports back for the most part, some are asking what is next for that GoFundMe created to support a lawsuit against the state. The Let Them Play movement raised more than $11,000. The money was to be used for legal fees to file an injunction in federal court against PED over its tie between hybrid learning and sports. Those behind the movement tell News 13 that lawyers in the case are the ones who negotiated with the PED, the governor's office, and APS to create and allow the kids to play under that small group in-person learning model. They say the community came together and their voices were finally heard. Now, they say attorneys are still working on the case over some of the other legal issues that have arisen. They don't yet know how much attorneys' fees will cost, but they do anticipate there being money left over. They say any money not used will be donated evenly to school athletic programs involved. We have put their full statement on krqe.com.
Okay, so we can only hope that those funds actually do go to, the schools and stuff like that, because we know there's a lot of greed. We know there's a lot of things that just kind of happen, right? And I understand it, right? I understand it and everything. So, yeah, we could hope that it's doing that. We could hope that all of this is making sense, right? And stuff. So we could hope, right? So with anyone that's like watching now the live, I'm starting to get a hang of it. You probably see me on the live now. This is my Crayon Rocket podcast. I find certain topics to talk about. We watch the video. Hopefully it plays for you. And this goes on my YouTube channel along with another part of my podcast that you can find on there, and reactions to songs. This is the Crayon Rocket brand. So the topic we are talking about right now, though, is what is it? Unused let them play court fees going to school athletic programs, right? So a lot of these schools kind of came together with the lawyer fees and like that to, get this money to them and stuff like that. And so the lawyers were talking about it, and they're like, okay, we see all these, we see that some of the athletic programs are they're picking back up, the hybrid is starting, all this stuff, right? But they said, with all the court fees and lawyer fees and stuff, they said if there's any money left, that money will be distributed to the school athletic programs evenly. So the reason I'm talking about this topic is we got to think about it. There's a lot of greed sometimes, and there isn't really an honor system. Like, really, when I read a lot of news, it's like people just stealing money left and right, especially in the school systems and stuff. And we could hope that money actually does go to the athletic programs, right? We could hope that the money goes to the athletic programs and it does something, and it actually, does something for the athletic programs, because we know funds throughout the years have been cut on the artistic side along with athletic side. A lot of things within the school just not the best. It is public school, so we understand that there's a lot of issues with it, right? So hopefully, there's not a lot of lawyer and court fees, and that money could actually get distributed to them in a timely manner, and hopefully that money could be used for something, a little bit better. I mean, we could only, really hope on that. Yeah, we could really only hope that the money actually gets to the program, right? So, welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the live. I appreciate y'all. Starting to get a little bit, kind of getting the hang of it a little bit. Some minor errors and stuff like that. But we are getting there. So, this next topic that we are going to be talking about, and like I said, I am reacting and talking about local Albuquerque, New Mexico news, and we just kind of give my little opinion up on it, right? So, fans being allowed to attend sporting events again, right? Starting to have fans attend the sporting events in New Mexico. We know that there's a lot of people that go to the Lobo games, go to Isotopes, New Mexico United, football, basketball, all these different things, the Gladiators, Diamondbacks, all these different ones, right? So it's good. Sports is kind of back to normal at 25% capacity, I believe. So we're going to, hopefully the audio works on your side. If it doesn't, then it's going to be kind of a boring 1 minute. But I do apologize for that.
Fans will be allowed to attend high school sporting events. The PED making that announcement this evening. There are limitations depending on the color codes that dictate how a county is doing in regard to COVID-19. Fans will not be permitted if a county is still in the red.
I'm very stoked to hear that not only can my family members go to the game, but others, and especially seniors, are going to watch them play.
Have a student section there with all your friends. I mean, they're the ones that bring the energy. They're the ones that get us hyped up.
Being able to have their parents in the stands, that's a big deal, Those are memories, you can't replace those.
True statement. Football season for some schools starting tomorrow, Saturday for...
No, that's good. That's good. Allow the fans to come back, right? Allow the fans to come back. Kind of allow some normalcy in this world that we've been in that just seems a little crazy. It just seems a little out there, right? It just seems like, man, we've lost that sense of anything anymore, right? We're just kind of, going through the motions. We're just seeing all these different things. And we've just been deprived of sporting events. We've been deprived of concerts, all these different things. And slowly everything is coming back to normal. Somewhat. I mean, yes, there's going to be the 25% capacity. You got to be in this bracket of this color system that they have. But at least there's something normal about this, right? At least there's some type of normal coming back. That's real. And then, hearing those, those athletes right there just talking about, man, it's going to be nice. Seeing the families come back, seeing the schools come back, being able to see them play, even if it's only for the seniors for the one game or whatever, at least it's something. It sucks for a lot of the seniors with them missing everything and only getting to have one game to try to show any potential is... Ooh, I could only imagine. I ain't really an athlete, but I played football just for fun. Did not play for a team because, you know what? your boy did not have confidence being a super short dude trying to play with like big old giants up on the field or anything like that. And I ain't super like athletic or very skilled or like extraordinary skilled to be able to like make a difference anyways. So this is what I do now. I just do videos. But yeah, so I think it's good. Hopefully y'all think it's good. I'm pretty sure everyone has an opinion on it, but I think having sports come back and people be able to go and enjoy them in person and stuff, great thing, right? It was a super great thing. So the next topic that we are going to be talking about is after the decision for APS to return to sports, students statewide want a similar request. So we will see kind of like what they're talking about there. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump into this one as well.
The fight to get student athletes back in school and back on the field and court continues in New Mexico. While the PED is letting Albuquerque high schoolers play, there are still many districts out there not allowed, and some wonder why. News 13's Rachel Knapp talked to those affected.
The Lordsburg students I spoke with have been athletes since they were little, and they're desperate to be back in class and back in sports.
Not being able to play and just strictly doing school and not having really a motive is really hard.
We just want to play. We want to be able to play sports. We want to be able to go to school, at least get some portion of our senior year back. And I mean, we don't want to continue like this. We want change.
I could only imagine like the heartache that, oh man, any of the students be going through.
We want something different that's going to be better for us and for everyone else.
The students say in Lordsburg their lives revolve around sports, and they feel it's been ripped away from them this past year because they've been doing remote learning. Now, the PED tied the return to sports with the hybrid learning models. If schools opted out of hybrid learning, they aren't able to let their students play sports. But yesterday, the state agreed for high schoolers at APS to play sports as long as they do in-person small group learning. Lordsburg schools have been doing small group in-person learning since last month. The superintendent says they were under the impression that would not suffice for participation in athletics. They're now looking at their options, which would be a relief to students who say that this has hit them all hard.
I know friends who, last year went from doing okay, doing sports, and having good grades from going to therapy and being on antidepressants because they just can't take it anymore. And I feel like that's a huge problem that the school board definitely didn't want to address, was how bad it's affecting people personally and their mental health.
As of Monday, the majority of school districts are listed in the hybrid learning model. About 20 districts are still listed as remote learning, and we'll post a link online to show that full list.
See, then we start getting into the hypocrisy of things, right? Things that just don't make no sense, right? And maybe some of y'all could probably argue that it makes sense. I don't really know. But to me, it don't make sense. How could these schools that are doing hybrid learning be able to get sports kind of back, but these other schools that have hybrid learning that have been doing it can't get sports back? See, it just don't make no sense, right? How could this group of seniors be having a normal life, right? But these other seniors can't have a normal life. It don't make sense. Like, it just doesn't. I don't understand it. Like, maybe my mind just can't wrap around the whole concept of that, and maybe there's like a deeper issue to it. Maybe there's a more complex issue to it. I don't know. Maybe I just need to open my mind a little bit more. I don't really understand it. But yeah, I mean, with any of this, it's crazy, right? It's just crazy because, like the dude said, he knows people that went from doing good, being in sports, right, to now going to therapy, being on antidepressants. Why? Because this has affected everyone mentally. I could only imagine for kids, right? Adults, like, we could, some of us are working, some of us are not. But there's a little bit difference there. These other ones, they're kids, they're students, they're teenagers. Like, they ain't got to say so in this, right? And depending on your parent, like, maybe you're able to see your family, relatives, maybe you're able to see some of your friends, but it's like iffy. It's just kind of toss up in the air, right? It just don't make no sense. So, man, my heart goes out to them. I'm praying for them. Hopefully things just go, like, hopefully they go back to normal eventually, I hope. But yeah, I could only understand what they're going through, and I'm glad that I lived in an era where I was able to have a normal high school. But man, I could only imagine like having something so like big impact you as a teenager, bro. Ugh. So, next one that we have, motion hearing to dismiss case against Fabian Gonzales. So, this was always a touchy subject, and we all know the whole story of it. So, we're gonna see what they have to say on this whole motion.
Today, asking that the case against Fabian Gonzales be dismissed due to the lack of a speedy trial. Gonzales is accused of dismembering Victoria Martins after her 2016 murder. But back in February, Gonzales was mentioned in an Amber Alert that police said he was associated with the suspect, Clarissa Covington. Gonzales' attorneys say that could skew a jury's view before trial. They're now arguing that, plus his lack of a speedy trial, is a reason to have the charges dropped.
The defendant is to blame for this delay. He simply is not. And so for those reasons, Judge, we'd ask the court to find a speedy trial violation and dismiss these counts.
Now, the state argues that Gonzales was never accused of being involved in that alleged kidnapping. They're asking the judge not to drop the case. Now, today, Judge Cindy Leos instructed both sides to gather more witness evidence to help the case, and she will revisit this motion in the next month.
Wanda. This is our home.
Dismiss the charges, saying he never was accused, all these different things. It's like the judicial system, especially in New Mexico or Albuquerque, I don't know what it is, right? Like, these big criminals are able to, it's just like a revolving door. They could go in, they could come out super easy, right? But then someone that's like innocent, somebody that's never done anything, then you kind of get the worst end of it. I don't like that, right? I don't like that. I mean, if this was any of us normal people, right, we would be locked away, key thrown away, we'd be done, right? All of that. But with them, like, it's like, oh, it's they find ways to get out of it, and I'm just like, I mean, come on, you really gonna be like, oh, speedy trial thing, all this. And they're like, oh, well, he was never really, like, involved in it, all these different things. Like, nah, like, we all know the story. We've heard it for a long, long time. Don't come at me with this, oh, well, you know what, I wasn't involved, all these different little things, and you know what, let's just throw away the case, right? This is what he wants. This benefits him in so many ways. But no, but, like, come on, like, nah. I mean, I swear, bro, like, if our court and stuff like that really fails this one, and this guy walks free, nothing against him, none of this, I'm gonna be baffled, bro. I understand that there's a lot of, like, weird things and just, like, people getting away with things, but this is the one thing I do not want to see someone get away with, like, whatsoever, like, at all, right? I don't want to see no one get away with something like that, especially this dude. No, like, that's too big of a case to just, like, oh, let's just throw it away because of this. Let's just throw it away because of that. No, like, this dude needs to, pay for his crime. If you've seen it in my past episodes, we talked about the alleged girlfriend or ex-girlfriend or whatever of him, where she stole her kids from CYFD while she was at a dentist, and they took off, found in a hotel, all that, right? Craziness. And now this. It's always something with this dude. There's always something with this case, and I pray and I hope that this guy gets what's coming to him, right? That this guy spends time in prison and stays there for a long time, if not forever, right? And he don't get away with this, I swear. So we are going to jump into another story, a little bit more of a heartfelt, well, a little bit more of a good story. It's not like super serious like this one, so that's gonna be good. NMSU student gets golden ticket on American Idol. Gets golden ticket on American Idol. That's what's up. So some of y'all, if you watch American Idol, cool. If some of y'all don't, it's all right. But let's go ahead and see it.
The green chili fields in southern New Mexico all the way to Hollywood. An NMSU student lands his big break performing on American Idol, and he blows the judges away. News 13's Annalisa Pardo has his story.
20-year-old Zaki Zucarno is a Las Cruces native and studies agricultural business and aerospace at NMSU. During the summer, he works on the chili farms.
Basically walk across the fields, test the soil, the leaves, and make sure that we get a good yield for the season.
And now he's headed to Hollywood after getting a golden ticket on last night's American Idol.
I'm not a guy who cries at all. I don't cry ever. So they asked some really touchy stuff, and I remember bursting out crying because I was like, dang, I actually made it.
He first heard about auditions from a friend.
I was kind of hesitant. I was like, there's no chance of actually making it on the show.
And after a number of Zoom auditions with producers, Zucarno made it through to an audition for the celebrity judges.
It was really fun, honestly.
Keep what I have, don't take it for granted.
The chili farmer started singing seriously about 2 years ago and gained popularity on the social media app TikTok when the pandemic stopped him from in-person gigs. As his American Idol journey continues, he's getting help from another young New Mexico singer, Chevelle Shepherd, who won another singing competition, The Voice, in 2018.
It's nice having another person that's gone through the same thing from the same state, basically the same age. She's helped a lot with everything. She's given me confidence and kind of like showed me direction of what I should go to, like towards music.
He's now encouraging others to chase their dreams too.
The worst that can happen is that they can say no or you fail, but you need failure in life in order to succeed. So just get those failures and just keep pushing forward.
Amen to that, bro. Amen to that. That's really good. See, I told you it was going to be a heartfelt story. And what, if y'all don't watch American Idol, if you do, know what, we need to cheer our own. Yeah, know what? This is really cool. It's inspiring. See, if you got talent, work at it. If you got dream, chase it, right? If you have any ambitions, anything, just go for it. We all are going to fail. There's nothing wrong about that. We will fail, but that will lead to our success. So I hope that y'all enjoyed the podcast. I hope you enjoyed the live, some technical difficulties, but I hope that it's still going. I honestly, I ain't even checked. I just kind of been doing my thing. But thank you so much. Check out the YouTube channel. Check out the other videos I do. I also do other inspirational stuff on the channel as well. So, and you know what? Without further ado, I'm going to have to bid y'all adieu. And if you ain't subscribed to my YouTube channel, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe too. And until next time, salute.